All right. So I guess now you understand what the plan was.
Absolutely. At Colts Law, we talk Indianapolis Colts football.
We're going to stick to what we know, fundamentals and technique, 1% better every day.
What's going on, Colts Nation? I'm Lawrence Owen. This is Colts Law. With me, as usual, is Loyalist. And today we're here, really first official live stream we've done since we got back yesterday from training camp, day one. I wanted to get this out. I would have done it yesterday, but, you know, we did one for Patreon, which I'm going to, by the way, immediately after this stream is over with, I'm going to go ahead and turn the one that I did for Patreon on public so that people can watch that as well. It was kind of fresh thoughts on the day in training camp. But I'm going to be doing that quite a bit whenever we do a training camp thing or something, you know, special like that. Patreon viewers is going to get first shot. All right. Probably about a 24-hour head start on it, but then I'll run in public afterwards. Loyalist, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about your day yesterday?
Oh, yesterday was amazing. Like I said, I got to take my son with me. That's both his and my first time to get to have the Grand Park experience. So that went real well. The weather was amazing, even when the sun came out. I mean, it got a little hot, but like I said, it didn't stop any of the activities. And my son and I just had a great time and got to meet a lot of really cool people.
Yeah, I actually enjoyed quite a bit. Speaking of your son, I mean, the thumbnail, that was a picture he took, right? So that was pretty cool. I met a lot of fellow fans, followers of mine out there. It was pretty interesting. I got stopped quite a bit. And, really cool meeting a lot of you. So appreciate that. We're going to be out there again this Saturday. So if you happen to be at Grand Park on Saturday, look us up. We'll probably be there somewhere, man. Kind of hard to miss. We're two pretty big fellas. So you ain't going to miss us.
No.
So Gary Thompson, what's up, man? Appreciate you being in here, and everybody else. If you're watching this, please smash that like button. All right, help us out. Maybe hitting the like early on when you come in. Maybe it'll help the analytics and YouTube kind of push it out a little bit more as we're live. So it'd help us out a ton. Don't forget, hit the subscribe if you're not subscribed. Tag that notification bell. Hannah7G, what up? Appreciate you being in here. Guys, don't forget, okay, we're on Newsbreak, all right? And you can support this channel. Very simple. And, hold on, let me click this video here. It's a little easier. This video is sponsored by Newsbreak. Newsbreak is an app used over 1.5 billion times a month by people just like you to get local news via articles or videos by those who are focused on that specific area. People like myself. Just use the link in the description of this video to download it. Then search a city, state, or someone specific, like myself, Colts Law. Then make sure to follow them so you'll get all the news fresh as it comes out. Sup, Toxic and Avery, appreciate you guys being here as well. As you can see by the thumbnail and the title of this live stream, we're going to talk about the three guys. Now, granted, Turay's a defensive guy, so I couldn't get a picture of him with the other two that had serious injuries last year that, had issues. But I did get one with, actually, your son got the one with Marlon Mack and Parris Campbell walking together, and that's who we want to talk about, is those three people, and how we actually saw them yesterday, because one of the biggest question marks is Parris going to come back just as fast as he was before? Does Marlon Mack with an Achilles problem still have that cut ability, right? How does Turay look, with, coming off that injury and stuff? That's interesting questions. And we'll get into the reports on today's training camp as well. But first and foremost, I'm telling you, I couldn't really tell a difference between what I saw of Marlon Mack and Parris Campbell yesterday at all.
Absolutely.
All.
Absolutely. Like you said, them guys, I mean, and it's crazy because I sat there watching them yesterday, and it's like I never even seen them play. For some reason, my brain just didn't, But you watch Marlon Mack cutting through the what are those devices are called that they're running around and stuff, and then on some of the routes and stuff that Parris was running, these guys were just, they were looking like they hadn't missed a beat, hadn't lost anything. So I was very, very pleased to see that yesterday.
Absolutely. Marlon Mack's ability to move side to side had not changed at all, at least not from what I could tell. He was moving through the single workouts, cutting left, right, forward, all that, with absolute ease. Better than any of the other running backs out there, especially including like JT and JW. Speaking of JW, what's up, JDW? Appreciate you being here. Chuck Millsap, what's going on? Truitt, what's up? He was there sitting beside us for most of the day yesterday, man. Very cool having you sit there and just basically enjoying the day with us. So it was very nice. So, yeah, I thought Parris, in particular, you knew something was up when he walked on the field with a GoPro strapped to him.
I know. Yeah, and I love the tweet you sent out last night about, we're going to get some blurry pictures. And like you said, those GoPros are pretty nice, though. I got to give him that. But yeah, like you said, Parris, you could just tell he was ready to put on a display. And, he had a really good day, I thought.
Oh, yeah. Marlon looked great, even receiving the ball. Marlon had probably one of the toughest catches that I've seen all day yesterday. It was a throw that was well behind him and low. He had to reach behind him. It didn't slow down. Reached behind him, behind his hip. He caught the ball, pulled it up, tucked it, took off. Beautifully done. And Parris still has that quickness, man. Still has that top end jet speed. Oh my goodness. So if these guys stay healthy, I don't see a problem with the Colts offense from what I'm seeing. Now, yesterday, yes, the quarterbacks, we expected hiccups. It was day one, all right? So that is what it is. And I'm going to have to pause for a second because I got myself a donation here by Vicarious, who is a Patriots fan, and using exactly what I asked, that link right down here for the donation. Lawrence Owen might be a Colts fan, but he's cool. Might be the smartest person in Patriots media, laugh out loud. Seriously, though, Law Dog, quick question. How important is it that a player has control of their emotions in practice? Oh, yeah, you should have control of your emotions during practice. If you can't control your emotions during practice, how are you going to control them during a game, guy? Think about that. All right. These are guys.
Especially when it's against your own guys.
Exactly. Right? Against your own guy, you're going to get hit up or whatnot, by your coaches and stuff. But on the field, if something like that happens on the field, that's 15 yards, man. Automatically, generally, So, yes, controlling your emotions during practice is very important because it shows how you're going to be like on the field as well. And if you are going to blow up with your own teammates who are supposed to be your brothers, and I get it, you might lose your cool with your brothers occasionally, but you shouldn't lose it to the point where, it becomes an issue. Now, I'm assuming this is having to do with something that I haven't caught yet with the Patriots news, but this is a Colts thing, so I'm not bringing that up. But like the Patriots, or not the Patriots, but the Steelers last year, right? A certain safety got kicked off the team because during practice he just co-cocked his brother's safety right beside him, right?
Yeah.
You can't lose your cool like that, man. It's not cool.
Literally.
Literally.
Yeah, and the thing is, I mean, especially for like relating it to us with the Colts and stuff, these guys are transitioning from one phase to the next phase. I mean, I don't think that they need to be using any of that extra energy, fighting with one of their fellow brothers. You know what I mean? Because these guys, I mean, seriously, the speed of practice, you hear about it and everything, but then you see it actually in action, and these guys transitioning from one to another. And my son was with us, like I said yesterday, and he's like, why do they have the play clock running and stuff? And I was like, and explained to him how they were simulating game. And even with Frank not being there yesterday and stuff, you could just still see that everything that, he's implemented over the last few years and stuff. I mean, yes, it's hard not having them there, but I mean, the team did not miss a beat. They didn't let up or anything like that. Like I said, Turay was still out there being explosive and stuff. And just, I mean, everybody just looked like they were really locked into what they needed to be. Even the guys like Fisher and stuff that you've seen off to the side, you could still see that everything they were doing was for a purpose. It wasn't just, oh, I'm out here going through the motions.
No, I mean, like you said, even Fisher was out there running laps, right? Just trying to stretch out his leg and work out and get up to work. Kincaid, Reich wasn't at camp. What's up with that? Yeah, he is a fully vaccinated person who contracted COVID, so he is not going to be coming to camp until he can get a couple passes, pass a couple tests. So that's exactly what that is. Martin Hazel, what's going on? Appreciate you being here. Anthony Hurt, man, we got a ton of people in here today. Kayvon Jackstar, I don't know. Appreciate you here. He says, 8 of 10? You know what? Carson's not broke? No, Carson's not broken. Like I said yesterday, there was some hiccups, and you expected that because this is the first time they were actually throwing against a defense trying to defend themselves. Carson looked perfectly fine today, 8 of 10 today. Even dropped from what I understand, a report of a nice, deep, beautiful bomb while on the move. Yep. Didn't even get his feet set when he threw it, and apparently hit him dead on. And I believe it was to Zach Pascal, and Pascal had to make a diving catch, but he caught it right off the tip of his hands. The guy that surprises me the most is Jacob Eason. Eason by far was the best quarterback yesterday. By far. Mm-hmm. And then apparently he went 8 for 8 today, and that's including his time throwing with 11 on 11s with the starters.
Yes.
So Eason looks good out there. I mean, impressive. We might have got ourselves a little bit of a diamond, but like I said, it's only day 2 of camp. Take it with a grain of salt. He's not playing against another team in their defense. So, but I like what I see so far.
I do too, and I like just the way I seen these guys interacting together. Morton and Sam and just all the quarterbacks. Everybody. I mean, Sam seemed a little more subdued, more locked in on trying to just figure out how to be a pro and stuff. But I mean, you've seen with Jacob and Carson, they were out there, like you said, they were slinging the rock, and just seemed real relaxed. There didn't seem to be a whole lot of, that nervous energy or anything. It just seemed like they were, like you said, they were amped up, and that's where you noticed with a lot of the passes were that they were just leaving their hand a little fast and throwing them either a little bit too far ahead or, stuff like that.
Yeah, I think I saw Carson throw one in the dirt too, on a flat route to a running back. But like I said, that was yesterday, first day. Get the jitters out. I mean, everybody was amped up for opening day of camp. Turay was out there dancing. I mean, just all out dancing, man. Buckner looked excited, man. He didn't know how to react. Buckner didn't know how to react because everybody was calling his name, and every 5 seconds he had to turn around and wave and say, hey, what's up, But that's cool because Buckner, was out there acknowledging the fans. He didn't know that they, he's never been through a situation or training camp like this because they didn't hold this kind of stuff in San Francisco. And yes, he was here last year, but we didn't have, open camp. We didn't have camp at all, really. So this is new for him as well, new for a lot of these guys. And from what I'm understanding, they're really enjoying the training camp experience here in Indy, and I think it's a good thing, not just for the fans, but for the players as well.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, you see these guys coming out there, and as far as Turay, I was watching him just doing the stretches, which I was just watching to see if he had any like range of. I mean, he really just looked like he was putting, everything that you could expect into that ankle and that left leg and stuff. So it was very, very comforting to see that. And then, like you said, the way the defense was just, I mean, the fans brought the energy without a doubt, but the defense by far was just looking like, like they had that extra bounce in their step.
Yeah. Stansbury asked what we thought of Granson yesterday. And honestly, and I'll be fair, I didn't see a lot of Granson yesterday. I didn't see a lot of Kylan. I saw a lot of Mo. Saul Mo did a few things. Doyle played pretty decent as well. But I think Granson got targeted twice yesterday. But he was out there. I just don't have a whole lot to report on him because sometimes you want to look at somebody, but nothing really stands out, to make a mention of. And I'm not going to make stuff up for you, obviously. I'm going to tell you how I see it. And nothing really massive stood out for Granson, which is good and bad. I mean, bad because you're hoping for a big play, but good because he didn't do something stupid that stood out either. Yeah. So that's always good as well. I mean, he's a rookie. It's going to take him time to get acclimated to the NFL. Meaning he still has playbooks and understanding the guys around him and everything. It's going to take him a while to get acclimated to the team in the NFL. Guys, I see you all in here. Please smash that like button. Please hit subscribe. If you're not subscribed, tag that notification bell. If you want to use a super chat, just like Vicariously did, I got the link very top of the description right up here. Use that. It'll pop up and I can read it a little easier myself as well because I have a page where I can go to it and it's all blown up and I can actually read it. That's why it took me a second to get to Vicarious's donation earlier. How about Ellinger and Strawn? I read it. I know it. Still comes out as I read. Do you think Ellinger will be here to help the defense practice for running quarterbacks? Possibly, because Ellinger does not look like a great quarterback to me. In all honesty, I thought when I watched Ellinger yesterday, he reminded me of a shorter version of like Phillip Rivers. Yeah, he just doesn't have the arm. He doesn't have that zip coming out of the ball. Throws a lot of rainbow passes. Now, he's not throwing it sidearm, like Rivers does. But he just doesn't. And his accuracy, it's not terrible, but you can see it's kind of here and there, come and go, But yeah, they may end up using him instead of Carson Wentz in a lot of those kind of running quarterback packages because you don't want your main quarterback going up against, the defense and simulating that. And Eason's not going to do it because, he's mostly a pocket quarterback. So, yeah, that's probably what Ellinger's going to be doing. Gary Thompson says, Kiefer said Granson looked really good today. Awesome. I wasn't there today. All right. I was there yesterday. And I'm going to be there Saturday. So, I'll be able to give you a firsthand view of Saturday stuff as well. myself and Loyalist. But yep. But hey, you know, who's taking first team reps at left tackle?
Will Holden. Will Holden was getting most of those snaps yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I've seen was Holden yesterday. He got now. I don't think he got all of them yesterday, but he got the majority of them. So that doesn't necessarily mean anything because Kayvon over here saying, so does that mean Tebby's taking second team? I got a feeling that Tebby and Holden and the other guy whose name escapes me at the time, they'll probably be flip-flopping throughout camp, you know, seeing who's got the better, you know, because we did that a lot a couple years ago at running back, you know, where who was getting the majority of the touches at the time. It's the same way with this, you know, who's going to end up, you know, being that guy at left tackle. And so different days, other people are going to get more reps.
Especially right now, because with Julian Davenport, he's a little dinged up, so he was sitting out and stuff. So, yeah, like you said, you know, another guy that was looking real good as far as offensive went was Danny Penter. You know, he because he ended up coming in there late, and I didn't even realize until later on that he was in there for a bad reason because Ryan hurt his elbow, which I was, you know, like I said, I seen that he was there, and then he wasn't. But yeah, Penter looked pretty comfortable, and that's, you know, I mean, like I said, day one, that's really what I was just looking for, seeing what the energy was like.
Appreciate the subscription, Geraldo Perez. Appreciate that very, very much. Did Yasin do anything well? Yes. Yesterday, Yasin was doing everything well. He covered well. He got a hand on a ball. He even got a pick yesterday. Okay, so he did well. The defense won the day yesterday, by far, in the 11-on-11s. Today, from what I'm understanding, the offense got it over. You know, they're the ones that won. Yesterday was pretty impressive. Jonathan Taylor and Jacob Eason had a connection yesterday that was freaking beautiful. Jonathan Taylor put a cut. I think it was Matthew Adams that he put the cut on and turned up field, turned the jets on, and just ran. It was ridiculous. Gone. Eason throws it right out and somehow led Taylor perfectly to where Taylor actually it looked like he had to speed up a little bit to catch this ball with outstretched hands like this, you know.
And but that separation, it was 0 to 4 yards, just like, I mean, I was just like, wow, you know, you just seen that extra gear that, you know, you always hear him talking about.
Okay. So I don't know about Sanchez, okay, but I saw Rigo Blankenship out there yesterday, and he was kicking from the 40-yard line and putting it through both uprights, okay, both uprights. Not just the one that he's supposed to be hitting through, but it was going through the other one, you know, from the other side.
And reaching the 10 without ease or without any problems.
Yeah. So apparently, from what I'm understanding, he had been working on leg strength routines and stuff during the off season, and it showed. It's showing. He still has the accuracy too. Only once did he kick it from the 45, and it went through the first one and then bounced off the uprights on the second one.
Yeah.
But at least it went through the first one. That's all that matters to me.
Yeah.
Strawn, do you remember seeing Strawn out there? I mean, I saw him out there, but I don't remember.
Yeah, I watched him early on and stuff, but whenever they started doing the 11-11s, I didn't really see a whole lot of, you know, but yeah, I mean, I remember going out there and watching him, and I was just, I mean, I love the way he was, you know, he's a hand catcher. He's not one of those guys, or at least he wasn't yesterday. He wasn't letting it into his body. I love seeing that. And then, I mean, guys, I'm telling you what, you see him standing there, I mean, against these other guys, these other wide receivers and stuff, and you're just like, okay, I got it. I mean, you know, that size is just another thing that it's like, okay. And then, he's not, I mean, from what couple routes that I did see, his footwork did not look to be soft or lazy. I mean, he seemed to be real sharp and crisp with the couple routes that I did see.
Yep. Okay. Nano, hey, what's going on? Appreciate you being in here, man. So some other things that I remember looking at, of course, Blue was there. I understand that he wasn't on the field, actually. He was out with the fans, taking pictures and stuff and just raising spirits. Lot of people was in Colt City. If you ever show up, man, I don't know. The video that I'm going to make public right after I get done with this one, the one that I did for my Patreon yesterday, which I'm going to make public as soon as this is over with, has an intro to it of Loyalist and I sitting right in front of Colt City and Grand Park, and you can get a good look at it. It's pretty cool. A lot of places for kids and people to just kind of see how they would see what it's like to practice as a player. It's pretty cool.
And shout out to Blue, because, man, I'll tell you right now, that humidity and heat yesterday, I could not imagine. I mean, I understand these football players are full athletes and stuff, but that man has got to be hating life during this time of year.
Oh, my goodness, because it was about 10:30, 10:45, the sun came out, and it became an oven, instantaneous. Yeah. It was fine at first. Then the sun came out from behind the haze, and it came down, and as you can see, I got some of it directly in the face. And, oh my, man, when Blue's got that big old outfit on, that's gotta be like wearing an oven mitt in the oven. I mean, it's gotta be awful.
I would definitely think that I'd have to have like my own air conditioning system or something that's going to make that tolerable.
Right. Got me another one. Is that Vicariously again? Let me go check that out. Yes, since my boy from Hawaii isn't likely to get any mentions due to position, Rigoberto Sanchez for the Colts Special Teams Player of the Year. I wouldn't be surprised. By the way, thanks for both the donations. Rigoberto Sanchez does get some mention from us occasionally. He was out there working, believe it or not, with Luke Rhodes on holding, like the snap and hold consistently. I'm telling you what, I don't know how I couldn't be a holder. I could not, as fast as Luke Rhodes was launching that ball at him, there is no way I could catch that ball from being 7 yards away, and it's there like that. Like,
And
he actually
can though.
yeah, he doesn't just go straight back. He picks it up off the dirt and then hums it like as hard as he can. And it gets there like it's almost like a teleport. Okay? So I don't know how Sanchez is able to just snap it and drop it. But he does. And he does it really, really well. And that's not even what he's really famous for. He's famous for being able to drop the ball at the 2-yard line, and pin guys back for our defense to get, safeties. Like, I mean, he's the reason we got 3 safeties last year, 2 in one game or 2 in back-to-back games. Sanchez a heck of a punter, man, and he could be Special Teams Player of the Year this year.
Yeah, he's my son was asking me about him and stuff. He's like, "Why is he just catching it?" And I'm like, "Oh, well, So I was explaining to him that he's a punter, and he was like, ask me questions. And the best way I could think of when I was talking to him was I was like, he's like a surgeon out there. He takes a certain part of the field totally, totally out of the scheme, and he just sits there and, like you said, he drops these punts in there. And I told my son, I was like, he's probably one of the best on keeping the ball inside the 20 that, plays this, in the league right now.
Martin Hazel with some wordplay here. How about Quiddy? Is he going to pay off? That's pretty good. had me giggling a little inside while I was reading that, and Loyalist was talking. But yes, from what I understand, he's not used to the speed of practice, right? At the NFL level, at least at the way the Colts practice, okay? And to be fair, it's a jump from college to the NFL. Always has been. But pays out there. I never saw him lollygagging around or anything. He's trying. He did get in once created a bad pass to a throw to a running back once. Got in the throwing lane, got his hands up, knocked it down. But still a little early. Didn't get a lot of good looks at the pass rush specifically from yesterday. And I wasn't there today to give you any kind of good news or bad news about that. Go ahead.
As far as the speed, I just was thinking back to last year. I mean, it's a jump to go from college to the NFL. But do you remember when DeForest got here? That was the big thing. He said just the speed that they practiced it was a jump for him coming from the Niners to the Colts and stuff. I mean, it's just the way that Eberflus and Coach Reich and all them have the speed of everything. I mean, that's different, I guess. I mean, the way that they go everybody's all 11 to the ball and stuff. That's not what you even find normal in a professional atmosphere, let alone a college atmosphere.
Yeah. Patton, what's up? Appreciate you being here. Anthony Hurt says, how would y'all compare Sanchez to McAfee? I don't want to. I will say this. McAfee has a lot more swag than Sanchez on the field. Okay? A lot more. When Sanchez does his kicks, when he drops somebody, you're not seeing him, do the strut or doing a golf swing or, he's just like, I did the job. And he takes a couple pats on the back of the helmet from, somebody, usually Luke Rhodes or somebody, and goes. But all in all, you also got to remember, I mean, Sanchez is what? This is his third year, I think?
Yeah.
Or no, I think this is his fourth year, isn't it? Or is this his third year? I don't know. Either way,
yeah,
he's still early, and he's getting better. So the Colts have been blessed with amazing special teams kicking, whether it be punting or field goal kicking, for years and years and years. Back when I was watching, like Dean Biasucci, type stuff. Yeah. So, yeah. I had Dean Biasucci and Ron Stark. Okay. Those were two really good kickers. And ever since those two guys, the Colts have had really good kickers. Even the stupid kicker, he was still a good kicker. But
just not when we absolutely needed it.
Yeah, but I mean, he was the most accurate kicker in NFL history,
Yeah.
So it is what it is. Matt says it's year 5. So thanks for the correction. So he's hitting that spot then. But yeah, I really enjoyed going. I can't wait to go Saturday. From what I'm understanding, Saturday's only going to be mid-70s. Oh, that's going to be so sweet. So sweet. Oh, my goodness. It's going to be so much better than hitting like 89 with direct sunlight and humidity. Oh, it was great right up until the sun came down and said, hi. All right. Who is the special teams coordinator? Don't talk about him enough. Actually, he's in charge. He's actually in charge of camp on the field while Frank Reich is out. Okay? And that's Bubba Ventrone. I actually had to think about his name for a second while I was talking. I can't believe I was able to do that. Bring his name up in my head while I was talking. Because I don't say his name very much. And, you don't say it all the time. He's actually pretty good. Yeah, he's in charge because he's got time. Right? So he is a coordinator, and since you got Brady working with the offense and you got Eberflus working with the defense, the special teams coordinator's got time to kind of roll around and make sure everything is going well. So he's the guy that's basically overall kind of in charge out there on the field while Reich is, put up, I guess, for now. But, yeah. Yeah, I know he won us some games. Yes, he did, due to his special teams units. And it's not just the kickers. I mean, we got the coverage guys are excellent as well. So,
and I think his strongest gift, as far as I'm concerned, I mean, I know he came up through the league and everything, but the way he gets these guys to buy into special teams, I mean, you don't hear anybody sitting there and being like, oh, okay, I've got to. I mean, special teams, these guys take pride in this stuff. I mean, George Odom, all pro special teams, like you said, you got Rigoberto, who's just, dropping these dimes, but you also got a lot of these other players that you wouldn't normally, how do I want to say, they do it begrudgingly, you know what I mean? But you don't really see that. You see the Nyheim Hineses and Isaiah Rodgers and stuff, and they're wanting to get out there and they're wanting to, contribute as much as they can. Excuse me.
Heaton Camp is part of Football Toxic says, wouldn't you love to be in camp in Houston? Okay, so first off, do you see my skin? Okay, heat really doesn't bother me as much. It's the direct sunlight heat. Houston would not, no, I would not go to camp in Houston. No, I would come out looking like bacon, okay? Extra crispy. There's no way I could do it, okay? I am too pale to take that kind of sunlight directly for long periods of time. Heat's one thing. I'm in Indiana. I'm used to humid heat, but not direct sunlight heat. That's rough on me. How do y'all feel about our new OC? I love Marcus Brady, and you're seeing it. You're seeing Marcus Brady in the plays in camp already, okay? You're seeing a lot of different formations. You're seeing formations, a lot of, I think I saw a Wildcat formation yesterday, okay? We did see a lot of RPO, a lot of rollouts, things that, that big pass today apparently was on a rollout, which you didn't see a whole lot before. That's what you're going to get from Brady. A lot of that college / Canadian football kind of looks, and that's how he won championships in the Canadian Football League, is using that style. So, and you're seeing, he's not like overloading the playbook with it or anything, but you're seeing it a little bit here and there. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I what I noticed a lot was when I thought with Carson and the bigger arm, I thought that we'd see the ball air out a lot more now. And like I said, I know it was day one and stuff, but the running backs and the short intermediate routes and stuff, they were just hitting that thing a ton yesterday. And like you said, JT and Marlon went out there and made a couple really extraordinary catches, and then you see TY, who you didn't really see a whole lot before the 11-11s, but once he got into the 11-11s and stuff, he was doing a lot more of the intermediate, like you pointed out yesterday.
What's going on, Ant Rogers? I'm glad you were able to make it. The reason why we didn't see a lot of TY early on Wednesday was because he was doing individuals. He was sitting off to the side. He had like a trainer or something, kind of throwing in footballs in like 5 to 10 yard ranges, just humming them at him, and TY just catching it, just snatching it right out the air, So he was doing individual work for the majority of practice that day. Even when the offense was over there working out in groups or, on the 7-on-7s and stuff like that, he was working out on his own. It wasn't until they started doing the 11-on-11s is when we saw TY go out there. So it looks like TY is just trying to get himself better because we all saw it last year. He dropped a lot of passes, and it was something we were not used to, right? We were not used to seeing TY dropping passes, and he dropped 3 of them in one game, and 2 of those were up close, personal, like 5 to 10 yard passes that would have been first downs, but he dropped them. And I think that's something that he was working on in camp yesterday. So, yeah, I think Ty knows what he needs to work on, and that's what he's out there doing. Ant Rogers saying, "What up, Loyalist?" Ant Rogers is my very first Patreon. Speaking of Patreon, guys, $5 a month. I'm doing a lot of live streams for Patreon where they go live, like yesterday, came out, did a stream for Patreon. It's still sitting there. I'm going to flip it and make it public to everybody, but Patreon's going to get a 24-hour head start to look at it. Join it. Comment. Join in the stream to talk. Stuff like that. $5 a month, you can get into it as well. Link is in the description. As a matter of fact, man, I got this little, I got all kinds of stuff that I could do, but I don't have my regular video that I do for that. But yeah, in the description, there's a ton of stuff in there. My news break, my merch shop, my Patreon, and then of course, the donation / super chat. So appreciate everyone that's here. Truett says, Lawrence, I can become a member tomorrow. Can you either send a notice on my YouTube tomorrow, or if you please remind me? My memory is trash. Thanks. Okay, I get you. I appreciate it though. TY is psyched about catching from Wentz. Always watch how big TY smiles when he says something. TY's always happy. TY always smiling. The only time I didn't see him smiling was the time that he called out the offensive line. Those years back. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, it took me a minute. I was like, what?
He called out the offensive line saying they weren't able to protect Luck, and that's why they lost the game. And then the very next day he came out and said, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. I need to keep that in-house. Somebody spoke to him about that. Probably Luck, I'm guessing, because Luck you don't tick off the offensive line. And that's something that you do on the inside, say, hey, man, you need to give my guy a little bit more time. Love the content. Glad I can support you guys. I appreciate you, Ant. Really do appreciate you. T.Y. got the best smile in the NFL. It's contagious. T.Y.'s, it's not just his smile, it's his demeanor. When he's talking and he's smiling and he's just having fun and you can see it, it makes you smile. All right? It makes you happy. But when T.Y.'s happy, we're happy. And it's weird. Because it don't happen with everybody. But T.Y.'s just got that charisma about him, man.
Yeah, I don't know if I could handle doing an interview with him because, like you said, I think I'd just be sitting there, laughing because you watch him behind the scenes and he's always very interactive with the interviewers.
Yeah. Yes, Ant, we have seen some RPOs yesterday. Yesterday. We didn't see anything today because we weren't at camp today. But yesterday, there was some RPOs that was ran. Carson Wentz making reads right there and making the decisions right off the bat. So, they ran some RPOs yesterday. Some of them wasn't great, but, day one, offense isn't going to look good. Never is. If the offense looks good on day one, you worry about your defense.
Exactly.
Okay? That's how that is.
But I will tell you, Marvell Tell looked pretty good yesterday too, didn't he?
Yes.
He had a few plays where you're like, oh, okay. And then you even whenever, you could see that rust. You could see that, just trying to get back in the rhythm and stuff. But, even whenever they address it or whatever, then they run a play again and boom, it wasn't repetitive mistakes.
King Cato, what up, Joe? Matthew Slater is our unrecognized hero in New England. He's our Steve Tasker, who is the Colts equivalent, our unsung hero, and that's easy, in my opinion. That's Odom. he all pro, special teams gunner. And he was upset that he didn't get paid more money after going to all pro as a gunner. But yeah, that happens. There's a lot of unsung heroes on teams, and I get it, especially when it comes to being a gunner or something like that. They don't get the recognition they deserve, If you have a long snapper like ours, like Luke Rhodes, he's another guy, doesn't get enough recognition for doing his job, You never hear bad snap on the kick or for the punt or something of that nature. Every time it's perfect. So, if you got a really good long snapper, generally they're unsung heroes. Any donation? Our donations down haven't worked 3 times. Ross, dude, no. Vicariously's done it twice already, so I don't think they're down. Cato says he broke it.
Well, please fix it.
Right? So who won the day? Yesterday it was defense. Today it was offense. Yesterday the defense won the day. Today the offense won the day. Today Wentz went 8 of 10, and Eason went 8 of 8. So, and I'm telling you, it's weird. Okay, so Wentz has a weird delivery, okay? It gets to the point where it needs to go. MTS, what up? Okay, Stansberry, he's out here donating as well. Hold on, give me a second so I can read this. This is for Ross. Ross rocks. He loves the Colts. Go team. $10. Stansberry. Ross likes my show. He's a huge he's a great guy, okay? Yep. Ross is a great guy. He's a Patriots fan though. But he comes on here and he hangs with us and gives honest opinions, honest questions. So that's cool. I love it. I appreciate every one of you. Toxic Tommy says good gunners make good punters, and that is the truth. Reich said Tell was really improved even though he opted out last year. Could be the third cornerback. That's possible. That is possible. But Rocky Sin looked good too. Yeah. I mean, I'll be fair here. Rock and Tell both have done a pretty good job on their guys for the most part in both days. And the majority of the time, Rock and Tell both, like Rock has been on, there's a reason why MPJ hasn't been mentioned. And that's something. Because you wouldn't think that Rock could hold down Michael Pittman, but he did yesterday. He held him down. So, but like I said, we're only 2 days into camp, so it is what it is. Martin says he likes Rocky, wants him to succeed. Yeah. Matt Stansberry, he doesn't come here for my awesome content. He comes here because he loves the Colts. We'll call it that. All right, we'll call it that. But if he doesn't ever come back and I don't get any more donations from him, I'm blaming you. But it's all good. Stansberry says 26 prevents touchdowns. He's going to step it up again this year. All right. That's cool. We'll see. Honestly, the best way to help the cornerbacks out is getting that pass rush down. And like I said, Turay looked good out there. Quiddy looks like he's getting up to speed. DeForest is a beast of a man. You know, you talk about Quentin Nelson, and you're like, okay, so that's the backside of a refrigerator, right? Isn't that what Luck called him? Yeah. What is Buckner? He's like a mountain. I mean, he's standing beside Grover Stewart, and you're like, he's making Grover Stewart look like a child. And that's hard to do.
I wouldn't call, if he's a child, he's a big boy.
Right? But I mean, he's that much bigger
Yeah.
than. It's not like Buckner is a tall, thin dude either. Okay, because dude's got arms like this. All right.
Yeah.
I can't even get my hands in the right
He's
frame.
got arms. He
here.
looks like he's got legs on his shoulder.
Yes. He is a big man. So a guy that size that is able to move the way he does, I am so glad that Ballard pulled the trigger on that trade. I mean, there is no way we could have got any one of his abilities with the 16th overall pick or 15th, whatever it was. Just no way. Matt says, I want a clone of Buckner. I want 4 clones of Buckner. We just right across the D-line. That'd be great. That'd be great.
You put their arms together, they'd have to run out to the out past the hash marks just to even get around them.
Martin, Emily, hey, appreciate you being here. Thank you for being here. How was Wentz's control of the offense? Not just leadership-wise, but it seems like everything. I didn't see too many miscommunications. I saw a lot of everyone taking direction from him very easily. He looked very confident. Even though this is his first year, he looked confident out there. So, in all honesty, he's still working on getting that speed down with the receivers, which is probably why he had all those guys come in through the offseason. But, yeah, I think leadership-wise and control of the offense, he's got it down. I mean, the offensive players have nothing but good things to say about him. So that tells me something, you know. Generally they won't lie, but at the same time, if there isn't a whole lot good to say, they just won't say anything, you know.
Yeah.
You won't hear him say, "No, man, I love Wentz. I love the way he's handling business," you know. And that's what they're saying. So that's always a good thing. Did we see Dio and Fisher? Yes. Yes, we did. Both of them.
We didn't see him even really doing a lot of running or anything, but now Fisher we did. You know, like I said, you've seen him running side to side, and Fisher, everything looks smooth. You didn't see any real limps or any sort of hitch in the step or anything. So, you know, first sight's very promising.
Appreciate you, Alpha. I understand that you're going to be watching it later because you don't want to watch midway. But thanks for being here and dropping the like. Dio was out there in street clothes, just out hanging around, talking with people. I did see him jog around a little bit, but not like, you know, not the way Fisher was, right? Not the way Fisher was out there doing hard starts and hard stops on runs. So, yeah, Fisher's out there looking like he could. I mean, obviously, he's not putting a lot of weight on it when he's doing it, but, I mean, it's his own weight on the hard start and hard stop. So that's progress and something to look forward to. So, yeah. Let's see here. Stansberry, you are talking a lot, and I appreciate it. As it stands now, what would you guys' biggest fear going into week 1? Mine would be not looking fully prepared, especially on defensive side, like they were last year versus Jacksonville. Still, the pass rush is still my biggest worry. I have faith. I like the way Turay looks out there, fresh and a lot of juice. I love the way Pay is out there, you know, giving it his all. You could tell he's giving it his all because, I mean, he's just drenched in sweat afterwards and panting hard. But it's still an unproven pass rush overall. And until that game against Seattle, we're not going to know what kind of pass rush we have. So, how big is Dio next to Buckner? We didn't get to see him standing next to each other. All right. Buckner was with the defense, the whole defensive team. Dio was just in regular clothes. moving up and down the field between the goalposts, like the 2 field goalposts, right? So he really wasn't standing next to Buckner, so I can't give you an honest, unless you happen to see it.
No, but one thing it just dawned on me I meant to say yesterday was that we did get to see a good little matchup between Buckner and Nelson yesterday. And guys, I'm telling you what, I know Buckner's been working on his hands and stuff, but I mean, that is one very fast series of hand works. I mean, you watch Buckner and Nelson just had to anchor, reset, because he just kept clearing the hands and clearing it. And I mean, literally within a 5-yard bend, he had done it like 4 or 5 times, just super fast.
Looks like my donations might be down. Let me go check that out, ladies and gentlemen. People saying he wasn't able to donate again. Let me refresh. Maybe that's a problem on my end. That's odd. Well, I refreshed, so I don't know if... You know what? I'm going to close it, and then if I get one, I'll open it back up. Maybe me having the analytics on my StreamYard account open is causing issues. I don't know. Maybe if you're using a credit card, maybe your credit card's like, yo, something fishy's going on here. You're donating to a Colts guy. This isn't a Patriots dude. So I don't know. I don't know. But you might check that out. I refreshed and closed it, so if it pops up, then great. I appreciate all the donations, guys. I really do. Don't forget, I also have that linked for my merch shop. A lot of cool merch. As you can see, my boy right over here, he's wearing my hat. I got a hat too. I got the blue version rather than the white one. And I got another donation that just popped in, and I can't see it because my eyes are on the screen. There's $10 from Stansberry again. Still working. Your end is fine. PayPal is the best way to pay and play. All right, so PayPal's working great, guys. Apparently, Matt says, thanks, my guy. You're awesome. Appreciate it. Ross says he changed to debit and it still failed. I don't know. That's weird. I've never had a problem with it. I've had other people say they've had a problem with it, but oh well. I'm sorry. PayPal's always there. The link to PayPal. I hate talking about donations so much, on how to do it, because I feel like I'm asking, and I am asking, but I also very much appreciate. Repeat. When Dio can play, Turay, Dio, Buckner, Pay, the quarterback death squad. Okay, I saw it the first time, but I was also catching up some other people. But Martin, I got you, my guy. I got you. All right. I love Turay. I want to see what happens with him. Obviously, there's no issue with Buckner. I think Grover Stewart, is undersold dramatically, even among Colts fans. And still got to see Kwity Paye. I think Kwity Paye, he was my second favorite rookie pass rusher. The only one that I felt there was only 2 guys I felt was worthy of a first round pick, and he was one of them. So it's all good. If any of those guys are able to get in there, I think it'll be great. I don't expect Dio, though, until probably 3 quarters through the season. And at that point, who knows? Even if he'll even play. But in all honesty, we'll see. We'll see. I don't want to see him come in too soon, That's the one thing that I am worried about. Definitely be 100%. Any thoughts on having Turay, Dio, Buckner, Pay as a group?
That, like you said, that was what I imagined. After we did the draft special and stuff, I remember thinking, what would be their, their speed squad, and that, I think next year we'll get a better glimpse of that as long as everybody stays healthy, But like you said, I don't know, because I don't see Ballard pressing the Dio situation a great deal, especially after the way things and how he felt about the Turay and maybe getting him back a little too early. Ballard, he's just not a guy that tends to make the same mistake more than once. You know what I mean? So I don't have high expectations of seeing that group until next year, for me personally.
Yeah. Kayvon asks about Ben. Did we see him take reps? Now, I saw him out there, doing the workouts with the team. He was in Buckner's line. But I didn't really notice if he was out there yesterday or not. I wasn't there today to be able to say yay or nay. But he didn't. If he was out there on the 11-on-11s, which I'm sure he was at some point, but he didn't stand out for me as somebody who made anything, big play or anything. So, Ben, it's weird because we got some big dudes on that D-line, and like Turay's tall but thin as compared to some of the other guys. Ben isn't necessarily tall. He's not necessarily big, He looks like the average guy out there, as compared to some of the other guys like Stewart or Buckner or, Turay being kind of tall as well, It's just weird. So it's hard to get a good eye on 52, but I'll tell you what I'll do is I'll try to remember that for Saturday and see if I can't get a good line on him during the team drills. All right?
Yeah,
I'll try to remember that.
Down.
Huh?
I've been typing names down here.
Okay. See, that's how it works.
We can answer their questions.
All could be ready by playoff time. I mean, yeah.
Physically, but then you still got a rookie player who hasn't been out on the field a lot. So that's what I mean whenever I say I think, that this is more, we'll see more of what the real look is next year.
Martin Emily, I didn't really get a good look at Strawn yesterday. I didn't see him make any kind of big plays either as well. I saw him moving around. I saw him doing individual workouts, wide receiver workouts, things like that, but nothing during the 11-on-11 team drills that really stood out for me. Yeah, Buckner got almost 50 pounds on Turay. Heck yeah, he looked skinny next to him. Right? I mean, Turay's probably like my size. Like, I'm 6'6". Like, 6'6", 270. And Turay's about my size, but not quite as heavy as me. You know what I mean? I think he's like 250. But you figure he's like 250. That's a big dude. That's a pretty stout guy. Yep. And then when you look over there at freaking Buckner, who's 300 pounds, and you're like, yeah, he looks really skinny.
And it's crazy because they both have such quick takeoffs. I bet if you were to time it, you wouldn't be able to notice the big difference.
Stansbury says there's some pictures of Mike making some catches with tight coverage, floating them around him. That might have been from today. Now, there was wide receiver workouts yesterday, like one-on-ones, but it only lasted like 2 minutes. So I didn't really get a good look at that because while they were doing the wide receiver workouts, I was watching the running backs versus the linebackers doing theirs. And that's when that whole Jonathan Taylor, Jacob Eason to Jonathan Taylor happened. And I was like, wow, and then, of course, the catch with Marlon Mack as well. You're watching on computer and TV. That's cool, Truett. Guys, yeah, the lineup you were talking about is for pass rush, obvious. I get it. That's the pin the ears back, go after the quarterback lineup. Gotcha. Guys, it's been over an hour, And, dude, I had a blast talking to y'all. We got about 30 viewers in here. Please don't forget to smash that like button. Hit subscribe if you're not subscribed. Don't forget, right underneath of Loyalist is a share button. You can share it to your favorite social media that you have. This stream, I'd appreciate it. How are they handled? Okay, so there's no fan interaction, Matt. There was no. The only people that had I had more action with fans yesterday than the Colts players did, which is weird.
Yes, you did.
Which is weird. Okay, so due to COVID protocols, there's no interaction between players and fans. Okay, you can yell at them, they can wave at you, whatnot, but they're not allowed to do any kind of signings or anything. They can't get up close. On the other hand, while I'm walking down, Colts Avenue, I get stopped over and over and over. It took me literally 15 minutes to get from the food station back to Loyalist because I was stopped that many times and asked to take pictures with, which, by the way, I'm cool with. I appreciate everybody who watches, and it just shows me that not only do they watch, but they actually like my content. Y'all actually like what I bring for you, which makes me want to do even more, which is why I do what I do. So thanks, each and every one of you. Appreciate you. But when do I expect Leonard to be paid, and when will he be back? There's no timetable on Leonard. As for when I expect him to get paid, probably within the next week and a half, is what I'm expecting. That's just now YouTube is crashing. I didn't 0194D. I did not see Kylan Granson on day 2 because I wasn't there. But thanks anyhow. Brian, what up? Appreciate you. Guys, I got to go. It's been over an hour and 5 minutes. I only keep Loyalist here for an hour because he has family as well. But we enjoy every minute I spend with you guys. And don't forget to check out my video that I had for Patreon, which I will be turning public right after I get done here. It's about a half hour or something like that.
Yeah,
I believe.
something like that.
Yep. All right, guys. Appreciate each and every one of you. I'm Lawrence Owen. That's Colts Loyalist. And until next time, as usual, have a good one.
Just because a player's not a household name doesn't mean we can't make him a household name.